welcome to another edition of Tunnel Vision. I'm your host, Ryan Abraham, sitting alongside Connor Morrissette, and we are lucky enough to be joined, thanks to the House of Victory, USC wide receiver Dorian Singer. Hey, what's up, Dorian, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you guys for having me.
Of course. It's the Sunday after USC went to 5-0, 48-41, out in Boulder, Colorado, back-to-back road games. This was a little different, pretty loud crowd. It seemed like it was kind of crazy on the sidelines. Full sellout crowd, whiteout. You had all these celebrities going on. It was 9 a.m. local time for West Coast time. It seemed like a weird one out there.
Yeah, it was pretty. The sidelines was pretty crowded because their stadium is so impact. So the stands from the sideline was you can hear everybody, everything. So you have to lock in a little more to what the coaches were saying.
Did you feel that kind of Coach Prime impact effect of everything? I've been to a bunch of games in Colorado, and I've never seen anything like this one. That was the most full I've seen that stadium, the craziest I've seen it.
Coach Prime effect definitely has an impact on Boulder and the turnaround they're having with their fans and all the support system, which is really good to see.
Dorian, you caught a touchdown in the game. Take us through that play.
So I can't really describe the whole play, but the play was just like a race route. As soon as I got over the center of the field, just raced to the front pylon. That was yes. So that's what had happened. Just get behind the linebacker. As soon as I get to the front of the end zone, just race to the pylon. Don't slow down.
Are you aware? We're showing it on the screen.
Yeah, I can see it.
How close, you were, you realize, you're at the goal line. You want to make sure you're on that side of it, one side of the goal, the good side of the goal line, not the bad side, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, one of those things. Is that when we're watching on TV, we see the yellow lines for the first down. I mean, are you aware? Okay, I'm at this where the sticks are, or here's where the goal line is. I need to take my route a yard or two further than that. How hard is that while you're running your route to kind of be aware of those things?
So when I first heard the initial call and what the route is, depending on my depth and where the ball is placed, either if it's on the hash or if it's just off the hashes, I try to count the lines just to give me a reminder if the ball is not on a perfect line. So I'll count the lines and then count how many ever to the next line, so I know where to be at and where to be, so I'm not overthinking it.
Yeah.
Yesterday, to go from USC leading 41-14 to 48-41 as Colorado was mounting its comeback a little bit. Maybe you weren't nervous at all, but what was going through your head in the second half of that game as it got a little closer at the end of it?
Wasn't really nervous about it. It just goes back to practice and our beliefs, and the longer it goes, the better we get. The longer it went yesterday, we didn't essentially get better, but we locked in as a group to pull out the dub. And Saturdays, they don't go as planned every time. So as long as you come out on top with the win, then you got next week to regroup for the next opponent.
I mentioned at the top of the show about House of Victory, and they've been setting up these interviews. We've been doing them once a week on Sundays. So again, appreciate you coming out and doing this. And wanted to thank House of Victory as well. So if you guys, we put up the QR code if you want to. I guess it's right under my chin. If you guys want to donate to the House of Victory to help student athletes like Dorian Singer, you can do that. And when we put Dorian up there as well, on his solo shot, you can see the QR code and stuff over there. So make sure you go check that out. But also, to let people know, it's a home game, so the House of Victory does have their tailgates going on. And Connor and I, we've been to the last couple of them. They're very good. You don't get to go, Dorian, but they got the Rex Steakhouse food there. It's legit.
The Rex Steakhouse is I've had 2 events there, and the food up there is so good. Yeah, Dan is doing a very good job.
Yeah, it's a legit. So make sure you go check that out. But there's also an event coming up for basketball. It's the Showtime at the Cicada men's and women's basketball preview. Dorian's studying communication, so he can help me with that a little bit. So it's a season preview for 2023-24. I'm really doing this well. November 2nd. So go check it out. If you go to houseofvictory.com, you can find out about the tailgate and also about the Showtime event. But Andy Enfield, Lindsey Gottlieb will be there. Are you a basketball fan, Dorian, or?
Yeah, so I grew up, I played three sports growing up: basketball, football, and baseball. Football is actually like my least, well, not my least favorite sport, but it's just, I was better at the other two sports than I was football.
You were
Yeah.
better at the other two sports? Okay.
Yeah.
Let me show this again. I'm just kidding. Like, so you're better at other stuff than this. Okay, that seems that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so baseball was my first sport, and then growing up, I was with my baseball coach, and we got into like a tragic car accident, so it kind of just stopped my baseball career, and then I was pursuing basketball, and then my sophomore year of high school, I just took football more seriously.
I'm sorry to hear about that. Wow, that's yeah, that's
Yeah.
man. You got anything, Connor? You want to?
So with NIL, Dorian, House of Victory, I know that they are able to help with some of the parents and families of players get to games. How has NIL helped you, and House of Victory in particular helped you as a student athlete?
um, House of Victory helped me in a lot of ways. Just like first you said, getting my family to games. That was a huge deal for me because this is my third year in college, and my dad hasn't came to a game and see me play in person. So this year will be the first time in 3 years he's seen me play college football in person. So that's one thing. And then like just giving back, like we'll go to places and just give back. Like we went to a community center a while back, and then we like play with the kids, stuff like that. Just giving back to the community is real big. And then like obviously taking care of our families back home. Like certain people have certain situations that they're in back home, and it feels good to like send your parents some money to get stress off their back. So House of Victory has helped in a lot of ways, and the connections, you meet a lot of people, and that goes a long way too, because the sport that we play only takes us so far, and then after the sport is what do you do next? So the connections that we've made already and the connections that continue to grow is what really I like about House of Victory.
So you were at Arizona, and we're going to talk about you guys. Your next opponent happens to be the Wildcats. But maybe if kind of for fans that don't know, I mean, you were the second leading receiver in the Pac-12 last year, and end up coming to USC, coming to play with Caleb Williams, the Heisman Trophy winner, and all that. If you want to kind of walk through sort of what happened when you entered the transfer portal, what was why you did, and how you ended up at USC.
So it just for opportunity purposes, development in my game, stuff like that. Like it's just nuances of it. Being a better overall player. When I had entered the transfer portal, USC was like one of the first schools to contact me. So it is good seeing that they had an interest from the start, and then like just building a relationship. Like they didn't offer me until they like submitted my transcript and stuff to make sure that I filled all the requirements and stuff to get into the school. So that's what I liked. It was like a process where it's like, yeah, you're a good player, but we need to make sure you fit our system, you fit like what we have going on. So that was a good thing about SC, and that was like a big decision to come here. And like the getting my family to games was a huge one as well, because I have family all over the place. And I moved to Arizona my senior year, so I have extended family there too. So just seeing my family from Minnesota and Arizona being able to be at the games.
Yeah, Dorian, so take us through the recruiting process for you from high school, because your story is really interesting. You end up going to Arizona as a walk-on, earn a scholarship. Nothing's really come easy for you in your career. Take us through the recruiting process and what you learned as a guy who had to really earn it.
So I didn't get my first scholarship until after my junior year, and it happened to be for defense. I played safety in high school for 2 years, sophomore and junior year. So Iowa State offered me for defense. That was my only Power 5 offer. And then the rest was I had 14 FCS offers. And it was just kind of weird because I was the only 3-star in the Midwest without a Power 5 offer for receiver, and that was my main position. So I moved out to Arizona for my senior year just to get better opportunities. And like I thought it was going to happen fast, but it was slow because COVID and stuff. But that really didn't discourage me or anything, because I knew like somebody would find me, and if I just keep working and putting out there that I'm working and showcasing my skills. I actually got, when I moved to Arizona, I got 3 offers from NAU, Utah, and Texas. NAU was a great program, but I just told myself like I didn't settle to move away from my family to commit to FCS school. Um, I tried to commit to Utah, but a receiver had already committed before me. So then we're like 2 months in before all freshmen have to go on campus. Texas had offered me, but then their head coach Tom Herman got fired. So then that kind of put me back down a couple steps, and then the opportunity for Arizona occurred because one of my high school coaches at Pinnacle High School in Arizona, they had a relationship with one of the coaches at Arizona, and they said that they didn't have any scholarships, but if you walked on, then just see your potential and see what you can do, and then maybe you can earn a scholarship.
Where did you kind of know, like, when were things clicking when you got to Arizona and you got to the point? I mean, you guys had a really good, they still do there, really good receiver room, and you end up, like second leading as far as yardage goes in the Pac-12 last season. When did it kind of start clicking for you? Like, hey man, I'm gonna be a player here at the FBS level.
So my freshman year, like when I came in the summer, and so we had PRPs, player run practices, and then we had like 2 separate fields where like the new freshmen would come in, and then like they would have like the veteran fields. So I started off on the like freshman fields or like the 3s and the 4s fields, and then I showcased my skills. And like the older guys, it wasn't no coaches that play around practice, so the older guys told me like, come over here with the older guys to get more reps and stuff. So they kind of helped me build my confidence up. And then I had like an ankle injury at the beginning of the season, so that kind of pushed me back a couple weeks. But I just still was giving them all because my teammates gave me the confidence that when my number was called, that I would step up to the plate.
And now at USC, Dorian, you just seem like you have a very professional way about going about things. I mean, you hop on our Zoom 5 minutes early. A lot of guys, that hasn't been the case. The guy who comes early, stays late, just everything about you being around the program as much as we are, it seems like you have a very professional way about going about football. Who taught you that? How did you learn that? And why is that important to you?
I'll just say probably my experiences. Just like growing up hearing about a lot of people that could have, should have, would have been this and would have been that. So I just took it into like, I'm not going to be a woulda, shoulda, coulda. I'm going to be a person that actually can say I did it, and I impacted a lot of people about it. Um, yeah. So that's like really the mentality, was that like seeing other people and seeing people that like I looked up to growing up that was really good at sports, and they just, something happened and they just didn't make it. So that's why I just take it day by day, and because at the end of the day, football is just a game that could be taken away from you at any moment. So you never know when your moment is going to be done. So every day you just have to take it as a pro, be a pro about it.
The big game this weekend, obviously, your former school. We talked to Brendan Rice. I don't want to say, we were good luck or anything, but he had 2 touchdowns in the game before the Colorado one. This is a big one. I have a picture, I think, of your family you tweeted out. So is that your family there? That
Yes, sir.
they'll be coming to the game?
Tour, majority of them will. So my mom's side of the family is from Louisiana, so I have a lot of Louisiana family coming, a lot of Minnesota family coming, my Arizona family coming, friends coming. It's gonna be, a lot of people, a lot of families going to be at this game. So yes, a real big week.
Yeah. Who's in the picture there? Who's there?
So the first person on the left, that's one of my best friends, Cameron, and then the next person is my brother Brendan, and then I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sisters and 1 niece, and
Whoa.
then all the little kids are my nieces and nephews. So I have 9 sisters in total.
Wow. Okay. That's a big family there. Well, hopefully they all get to
Yeah.
see you do well. But what's like, I mean, when you transfer within the conference, we've seen that a lot at USC. I know you got a couple guys. Christian Rolla-Wallace had an interception in the last game. Keon Bars, and I mean, 3 former Arizona guys. Like, do you guys talk about this game? Have you circled it? Like, I mean, I don't know. How important is this one to you, playing against your old team?
We definitely talk about it a lot, and it's just like it's good because like we still got some people over there that like I came in with and I grew a relationship with. So it's good to see them and like some of the coaches still have a pretty good relationship with them and stuff like that. So it'll be good to see them and just compete versus them because all last year in practice I competed versus the same guys. So it'll just be good to see their growth and the elevation of their game as well.
I got to go back. How many siblings do you have in total, Dorian?
So I got 13, but then prior to moving to Arizona, my parents they had to sign over like legal guardianship. So then I gained three other brothers. So really 16 siblings all together.
What's the and maybe there's so many that you lost track, but who's the oldest? Who's the youngest? What's the age difference on that?
So the oldest is between 40 and 45, and the youngest is I think my youngest sister is 13 or 14. She's a freshman in high school.
Wow. So when you say you got all these family members coming, you mean it. That's a big
Yeah.
group. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
With this game coming up, I mentioned the wide receiver room. How do you think the Arizona wide receivers? I mean, pretty much everyone's there except you're not there anymore. How do you feel like? What's their strength? Like, where can they attack this USC defense or this USC secondary? How would you see that? And do you give those guys any advice about them? Like, hey, here's what these guys like to do.
Um, I'll definitely I'm not sure if any coach will ask like what their tendencies are and stuff like that. But last year we were really well in like we faced a lot of zone coverage teams, so we were doing a lot of in breaking routes and stuff like that, or try to do a corner and then with a crosser coming around. So the scheme that Coach Fish has is like a really good scheme. It's kind of like NFL offensive scheme, run based. So they have a pretty good offense.
Yeah, T Mac last night had a great game. But we
Yeah,
can move into and shout out to Noah Fafita too, who played well. Guy I got to know covering high
yeah,
school sports. That
yeah.
was
I'm
cool.
Connor knows
super
everyone that
happy.
played in Southern California.
Yeah, when I
Yeah,
had watched the game yesterday, I seen Fafita was in. I didn't know what happened, so I had looked it up like what was going on. I seen Delaware had an injury, but super happy for Noah Fafita. He's a year younger than me, so when I was a sophomore, he had came in and he's a really good quarterback, really good character person.
yeah, getting to know him and his family a little bit. I agree. It'll be fun for you to see so many of those guys, Dorian. But going back to USC, so when you came in here, who were some of the guys who helped with your transition to life at USC, and who are some of your best friends on the team now?
Who helped me with my transition? So on my official visit, Taj was my host, so that relationship carried over. Mario Williams, Caleb Williams, Jacoby Lane, he's a freshman that just came in the summer. I kind of knew him back from Arizona. And then, but it's like majority of the team though, like the whole team, like really, it's like a brotherhood. Like I know, like we say that a lot, but that's what it really is. Because like when I first got there, like I didn't feel any different. Like oh, maybe I should have. Maybe I didn't have any doubts about anything. Like maybe I should have went somewhere else or anything like that. It was a brotherhood, and like my family, they seen it when they came on a visit as well, and they still see it to this day. Because like the coaches' wives will reach out and stuff like that to all the parents and just make sure everybody's good.
The try to watch. We're up in the press box, Connor and I, and we try to watch like kind of what's going on the sidelines. It seems like there's a lot going on there at sidelines of games. Who are some of the like personalities? That, could be coaches, assistants, any players, whatever. Some of the like big personalities on the sideline that sort of kind of get people fired up or whatever. Kind of set the tone for you guys where when you're in the middle of a game.
So when we were in the middle and we're in our huddle, there's quite a few people that talk, but the people that really get me motivated when they speak is Eric Gentry, Shane Lee, Austin Jones, Caleb Williams, Jonah, Didi. Those are just some of the names I can think of right now, but those are the guys like really their voice like strong, impactful, and like they get you ready for a game, like get you ready to really go out there and give it your all.
Dorian, what have you learned about offense being in a Lincoln Riley coached offense that maybe you didn't know prior to coming to USC? Does anything come to mind when I ask that?
Um, just that the players make the offense doesn't make the players. So like the plays that we run is really can the receivers execute those plays? Like we're not just gonna call anything just to call it. We make sure like in practice it's ran well and stuff like that. So that's really a big thing, and a big key is like the receivers make the plays, like make the offense go. Like the plays doesn't define us.
All right, we have here. I'll put this shot up here. The Peristyle message board is the message board over at uscfootball.com. We put that you're going to be on. Some people posted some questions. Would you mind answering a few from the fan base?
Yes.
All right. Let's see. Where do you want to start? Some Trojan 43 says, "What areas of your game have you improved on since coming to USC?"
Some areas of my game I improved on, and I'm still improving as the season goes on because there's always nuances you can do. But I think the main things that I've improved on is my route running and my releases.
What was it like when you got your first scholarship, Dorian? And I know it's a little bit different because some of those were taken away from you in high school. So I guess what was it like when you got that scholarship at Arizona when you first found out? And that's from Knife 938 at the Peristyle.
So when I first found out I was on scholarship, it was the first team meeting when we first got back for the spring. They kind of had some hats like your like a signing day. They had like 3 U of A hats, different colors. It's like pick a hat, come sign. Like it was just like a good feeling because like my parents they didn't really have to like stress anymore or worry about like how was I gonna pay for school and stuff like that. So it was a big relief, and like it was a big relief and a huge shout out to Arizona because they gave me the opportunity to showcase what I can do.
Speaking of that opportunity, we failed to mention last year you had a monster game against USC, and Knife 938 on the Peristyle says, "What are your thoughts on Caleb Williams saying, quote, 'We need to go get this guy' during the USC Arizona game last year?"
It's pretty funny because like after that, like during the whole season, like because we had a powerful offense and they had a powerful offense. So me and my roommate, like we had a lot of late games, so we would watch SC games, and it was just funny, just like comparing the receiver core or just like they're balling and we're balling too. So like it was like that game. Like me and my roommate, like we woke up like in a good mood because like we wanted to see like what their receivers about because we knew they had some really good receivers, and like that's what I love about being a receiver. Like I can watch every other receiver and steal something from their game. So yeah, it was pretty funny that he said that.
Another one from some Trojan 43. Dorian, who's the funniest wide receiver on the team?
The funniest, hands down, Jacoby Lane. Hands
Okay.
down.
That's funny because I remember he was walking out with Zachariah Branch to practice once, and he was really making Zachariah Branch laugh. So it's interesting that you say that. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, he's definitely the funniest.
Nice. I don't know if you can share this, Al from SoCal. How often are plays audibled on average? Like, are plays audibled a lot, or is it you would say frequently, not that frequently?
Um, to be honest, I'm not really sure. I'm pretty sure Coach Riley and Caleb has like a check signal, like check with him or something like that. Yeah.
Nice.
Ronaldo 1960 wants to know, and I'm curious about this too. Did you have any issues either on Saturday or as an Arizona player playing in the altitude in Colorado?
No, not during the game, but when we first got out there to warm up, and I was kind of running around, like my chest was feeling like heavy. But like when we put our pads on and got out there, it wasn't like no issues at all. We just because we hydrated throughout the week, we did everything we were supposed to do. Just go out there and play football. But the ball on that post ball that kind of sailed over, it did kind of feel like the ball just kept like carrying and carrying.
That's interesting, yeah, because it's rare to see Caleb miss a throw like that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know every time I saw a kickoff going to the end zone, I was like, man, I wish I brought my clubs here. I want to see how far I can hit my driver, you know? Cool. All right. Let's see. The next one we got. This is from Spec Goody. What season grade would you give yourself being a newcomer and acclimating to a new team and an offense up to game 6?
Season grade I'll give myself. Um,
Depends how hard of a grader you are, you know, if you're a harsh grader.
I'm a very, very hard grader.
Okay.
Um,
Respectable. All right.
I'd probably give myself like a C plus.
Three
C plus.
touchdowns. 3 touchdowns, not bad.
Yeah.
It's you knew coming in though that this was going to be an offense that probably spreads the ball around, right? Like that was
definitely
part of the decision. So it's
Yeah.
I mean, even like Jordan Addison comes in last year, you know, 100 catches and knowing he's not going to get anywhere near that because you're not going to be like the solo guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I did a lot of research in the transfer portal on what offenses do and stuff like that. But I knew coming in that I wasn't necessarily going to get all the catches that I did last year, but that wasn't really my concern. My concern was getting developed as a player, and so I could be ready for the next level and actually go chase something with the team. This is my first year out of 3 years that I started the season 5-0, let alone 3-0.
Nice.
4th Gen 71 wants to know, how has your life changed since moving to California?
Oh.
How has it changed?
And maybe it hasn't.
Probably I mean, kind of Arizona. Well, because in Minnesota, like when you buy clothes and shoes, like they don't tax on that. But
That's
like
true.
out here, the tax is like super crazy. So like a pair of Air Force is $130 instead of $90. So probably the expenses out here, yeah, probably definitely the expenses.
Yeah. I think we all like living here, but it costs more. So
Yes, sir.
Trojan and Eugene wrote in and said, what's your favorite meal? And I don't know if Taj Washington cooks it for you. Yeah, we've had like 3 receivers on, I don't know in a row, but we've had 3 receivers on. We had Taj and B Rice and you now. So I don't know if he's involved in your favorite meal, but who's your favorite meal? And you can talk about Taj's cooking too if you want.
So my favorite meal, probably 2 of them. My sister she still does, but she makes a good shrimp Alfredo, and then probably some salmon. Yeah, I like some salmon. Taj, he cooked I think like 3 times for us.
Okay.
He made some really good Alfredo. Like I was comparing my sister Alfredo to his. Yeah, he makes some really good Alfredo. He made some can't really think, but yeah, Taj his cooking is like
I
his
think
cooking is really good.
I think Brendan mentioned that too, the Alfredo or something. That would seem to be
Yeah,
a popular one. If I'm not mistaken, maybe I'm just forgetting.
really good Alfredo.
Nice.
Last question, Dorian, comes from Noops Trojan 55. What's it like to be in such a loaded position group, and how do you guys make each other better?
Good question.
It's actually good being in a loaded position group because it brings the best out of you every day. In practice, that's where it all starts. In practice, like you got to show the coaches in practice that you can go out there on Saturday and make those plays. It's not just going to happen on Saturdays because we got so many guys in the room that can go out there and play. But you got to show it. The proof has to be in the pudding. We make each other better just by like we give each other corrections out there on the field in practice. If we go see like, oh, they should have maybe went down and blocked the safety, or maybe they should have got their hands inside, or maybe they should have ran their route a little bit different. Like we coach each other up. Like we're all coaches and players at the same time. So that just makes us that's what makes us so good as a wide receiver unit because we hold each other accountable and hold each other to a high standard that if I don't want to slack off, then I'm not gonna let you slack off.
I got one last one for you. We'll let you go, Dorian. We really appreciate it. But you can follow him on Twitter at Dorian_Singer1. Are you more a Twitter or X guy or Instagram guy? What do you like using the most?
I be on Instagram a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, Instagram. But Twitter, I really use Twitter in high school a ton just to show coaches like my film and stuff and that I was
Okay.
working. Yeah.
Is your Instagram the same, Dorian_Singer1, or is it different?
Um,
People
I'm
can
pretty
Google it.
sure.
People can Google it.
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, it's the
It's the same
same.
one.
It's the same. Yes,
Well,
sir.
I saw on your Twitter feed that you had a deal signed with Audi, and this was pretty cool. Looked like a nice ride there. How did that kind of come about? And do you like your car?
Yes, I love the cars. So Audi, like you said, really it has really good leg room. It came about so last year, not House of Victory, but it was the forgot what the name was called of the collective. But they had car deals with some cars, and since it was getting switched over to House of Victory, they were still getting some details figured out with car dealerships, and they wanted to gift a couple players cars, and I happened to be one of them, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity.
Nice. All right. Well, Dorian Singer, we wish you the best of luck. Like I mentioned, 3 touchdowns on the season, and get to play your old mates over there.
Yes, sir.
They gave Washington a game, man.
Yeah, I
That
was
was
watching them. I was watching all the way to like the third quarter. Yeah, it was a really good game.
not easy to win on the road. So I know Lincoln Riley's been harping on that a little bit the last couple games. So we'll see
Yeah.
how they do coming to the Coliseum. But thanks again for coming on. Thank you and so much, and we wish you the best of luck going forward.
Thanks, Dorian.
Thank you guys. Have a great night.
You too, man. Thanks.